Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, class 9 students. Beti, as you know, we are doing about the alimentary canal, okay, and today we have to discuss about the small intestine, okay. So before that we have discussed about the oral cavity, then we have discussed about the stomach, okay, the functions of the stomach and how is it work, and the special hormones which are produced during the digestion in the stomach. Now we will discuss about the small intestine. Before starting this before starting this topic, I would like to explain you that small intestine is the last organ in the digestive system in which all food is digested in the walls of the small intestine, and these walls are called villi. Okay, so the food is totally digested in the villi and then it is entered into the bloodstream. Now we will start the topic digestion. How digestion is happen in the small intestine. So small intestine is divided into three parts. The earlier part is called duodenum, then second part is called jejunum, and the last part is called ileum. So first I will tell you what is a duodenum. So duodenum, it is comprises of first 10 inches, means 25 centimeter of the small intestine. It is the early part of the small intestine and it is about 10 inches long, means 25 centimeter. And it is the part of alimentary canal where most of the digestive process occur. So here food is mixed with three different secretions. In duodenum, three different secretions are entered into the digestion of the food. So these three important secretions I have told you, along with different systems in our body, we also have endocrine system in the body, and that endocrine system consists of different types of glands, and these glands work in the body when they produce a lot of fluids in our system. Okay, so secretions means fluids. So in duodenum, when duodenum work at that time, three different types of fluids enter into the digestive food. So what are they? They are bile, pancreatic juice, and intestinal juice. So first I will tell you what is a bile. Bile is produced from liver. Okay, so it helps in the fat digestion through emulsification. So what is the role of bile? You can also see on the screen. Bile is produced, it is produced in the duodenum. Duodenum is the early part of small intestine. So it is produced, bile comes from the liver and it helps in the fat digestion through emulsification. Second fluid is pancreatic juice. So from the name we can understand that this fluid comes from pancreas. So pancreatic juice from pancreas contain enzymes, and it has enzyme trypsin, pancreatic amylase, and lipase. Underline these enzymes in your book. It contains trypsin, pancreatic amylase, and lipase, which digest proteins. Okay, digest proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids respectively. I'm telling you again and again that our food, our everyday food consists of different types of variety of food. We take proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and fats in our everyday life. So pancreatic juice play a very important role. It contain different enzymes, which names are trypsin, pancreatic amylase, and lipase. So their important work is there to digest the proteins which are present in our food, proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. So when they enter into the digestive food, they broken the particles of proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. After that, an other fluid is entered into the digestive food, that is called intestinal juice. So intestinal juice from intestine walls contains many enzymes for complete digestion of all kinds of food. So I hope you are understanding. You must be understand that small intestine consists of three main parts: duodenum, duodenum and ileum. So duodenum is the early part of small intestine. It is about 10 centimeter long, and during the digestion, when digestion is happening in the duodenum, three important fluids are enter into the food, and they are bile, pancreatic juice, and intestinal juice. So their important work is that to digest the proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and other different types of food. Now the second part of intestine comes, which is called duodenum. So next to duodenum is 2.4 meters long duodenum. It is concerned with rest of the digestion of proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids of our bite. Okay, so what is duodenum? It is the next part of duodenum. It is about 2.4 meters long, and its important work is that to digest proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids which are present in our food. And the last part of the small intestine is called ileum. Ileum is about 3.5 meters long, okay, and its important work is that it is concerned with the absorption of digested food. Once the food is digested in the walls of the walls of the villi which are present inside the intestine, when once the food is absorbed, then the food is reabsorbed, and the work of reabsorption is that they again absorb the good particles from the food. So like that, the food is ultimately absorbed in the walls of the walls of the villi. Now I will discuss the last paragraph, which is given in your, you can also see on the screen, how absorption is happen in the small intestine. What is the process? What is happen in the villi, and how the sugar and amino acids, fatty acids, and glycerols, how they are absorbed in the villi. Okay, so you can see. Come to the next page. So look at the screen. Okay, students, I was explaining to you uh, how food is absorbed in the small intestine. So first I will explain you what is happening in the villi. Okay, so in the villi there are circular folds in the inner wall of the ileum. There are circular folds in the inner wall of the ileum. Okay, I have told you duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, these are the three parts of the small intestine, and ileum is the last part of the small in which the villi are present. Okay, so what is happened, there are circular folds are present in the walls of the ileum. Okay, in the walls of the ileum, in the walls of the ileum, and its important work is that they are finger like projections which are called villi. These are the projection, yes, these are the finger like projections which are called villi. Okay, and villi increases the surface area of the inner walls, and it helps a lot in the absorption of digested food. So each villus is a richly supplied with blood capillaries and a vessel or lymphatic system called lacteal. Lacteal comes from a word lactic, okay, and lactic means it is an acid which is present in our food. So the wall of villus is only single cell thick. You can also see these things in the figure. If you see the figure which is given here, okay, this is the diagram of, yes, you can see on the screen, this is a diagram of villus, okay. These are circular foldings which are present inside the ileum, okay. And you can also see these are the finger like projections which are present inside the ileum, and collectively they are called villi, okay. You can also see they are rich with blood supply, and they are rich with blood supply due to capillaries, okay. And you can also see there is a lacteal is present. I have told you lacteal word comes from a lactic, and lactic means iron acid which is present inside our food. So when your food reaches in the small intestine, in the part of small intestine, the ileum, ultimately it is absorbed in the walls of villi, and these are the villi from where the food is thrown into the bloodstream, okay. And this is the option of deoxygenated blood, okay. Now next, how sugar and amino acids are digested in the small intestine. Its process is very simple. The digested molecules, that is simple sugars and amino acids, are absorbed from the intestine into the blood capillaries present in villi. So blood carries them away from the small intestine by the hepatic portal vein and goes to the liver for filtering, removal of toxins and nutrients processing. You can also understand this process with the help of a diagram. You can see this is a diagram, and you can also see these are the foldings of villi. So when uh, uh, amino acids and sugars come here, amino acids, I have told you that when proteins are digested in your body, they are converted into 20 and 22 chains of amino acids. So when they are collected over here, so they are digested and they are thrown into the bloodstream. So this blood take them to the liver, and we all of know the function of liver. The function of liver is there to remove the toxin and dead red blood cells from your blood. So when these materials goes to your liver through hepatic portal vein, there is a vein which takes these particles to the liver. So the liver remove all toxin, nutrients and toxic particles from the amino acids and sugar. So amino acids and sugars are pure, and then they are again thrown back to the bloodstream. And the third part in the digestion of small intestine is how can we absorb fatty acids and glycerol. Its option is also very clear. Fatty acid and glycerols are absorbed into the lymphatic vessels, okay. Lactea present in villi which carries them to the main lymphatic duct. From there they enter in the bloodstream. Now there are two words are new for you: lymphatic duct. um, when we talk about endocrine system consists of different glands, and glands are of two types in our body. First is called ductile, which have openings inside them, and the second one are ductless. So here we are talking about the hepatic duct. So hepatic duct means that they have openings on both sides. These are the tubes which have openings on both sides. So when these fatty acids and glycerol particles reaches to the hepatic vessels in villi. They take them to the lymphatic duct. From there they enter in the bloodstream. So this is the function of your small intestine. I hope you understand it. I hope you understand it. I am repeating this small intestine again because this is very important according to your board exam. So you have to keep in your mind all the steps of small intestine. Okay, I have told you that small intestine divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Okay, the early part of small intestine is called duodenum. It is 10 inches long, and its important function is there to absorb to most of the to help in the most of the digestion of the food. And in your duodenum, three important juices are entered into the food. First is bile, which comes from the liver. Second is pancreatic juice, which comes from the pancreas. And the third one, intestinal juice, which consists of different which help in digestion. And after that duodenum there is a jejunum, and its important function, it's 2.4 meter long, and its important function is there to digest proteins, carbohydrates and fats present in your food. And the last part of the small intestine is called ileum, and it is about 3.5 meter long, and it's also important one to reabsorption of the food. Okay, once the food is digested into the bloodstream, if some particles are which can be reabsorbed by the intestine, so it's important for you to reabsorb that part. After that I have told you the process of absorption of food in small intestine, and I have told you three process ke what is happening in the villi, how sugar and amino acids are absorbed in the blood, and how fatty acids and glycerols are absorbed in the blood. Okay, now we will discuss the next topic is large intestine. And large intestine means absorption of water and defecation. Okay, defecation means elimination of undigested food particles from the from the body. Okay, now we will discuss the large intestine. After the digested products of our bite have been absorbed in blood, the remaining mass enters in the large intestine. So large intestine further consists of three parts. First is called cecum, second is called colon, and the third is called rectum. Keep in your mind, large intestine further divided into three parts. First is called cecum, second is called colon, and the third is called rectum. So first I will explain you what is a cecum. A cecum or pouch that forms the T junctions with small intestine. Cecum is a part of large intestine which is in the form of T, and it is like in the pouch form. After that there is a colon. So important function of colon is that it absorb excess water from the blood. Okay, if your blood has unhealthy have toxic water inside it, so the important function to reabsorb the toxic water from the blood. And the third part, and feces. Okay, and feces, as the water is absorbed, the solid remains of food are called feces. It contains, so what is the function of feces? You can also see, you have to write the definition of feces. This is very important for your body. Okay, what is a feces? You can attempt, its definition is like this. Okay, when the digested food is absorbed, when the digested food is absorbed after, the remaining mass enters large intestine, that is called feces. Okay, so from colon water is absorbed into the blood. Okay, and then this blood is from colon water is is absorbed into the blood and feces. As the water is absorbed, the solid remains of food are called feces. It's a definition of feces you have to underline in your book. As the water is absorbed, the solid remains food are called feces. So feces contains three important particles. First, undigested material. Second, a large no of bacteria. And third, slot of cells of alimentary canal. These words are new for you. I explained you what is the undigested materials. Definitely we take different type of food, so all food is not same. Some is useful and some is not useful. So the part of the food which is not useful for our body, that is called undigested material. Secondly, a large number of bacteria. So definitely when we take food inside our body, many bacteria enters into our body. They are unwanted bacteria which are not necessary for our body, which do not help, which do not help in our body. So these bacteria also enters into your feces. Okay, and the third one is slot of cells of alimentary canal. Slot of means dead skin. Okay, so dead skin, the cells of your body which are dead and which are dead in your alimentary canal, so they are also removed from our. So we have a common idea in our mind that feces is just consist of undigested particles of our food, but not, this is not true. It is also consist of three parts. First, it consists of undigested part, and secondly it is consist of digested part. Second, it consists of a large number of bacteria, and the third one, it consists of dead skin or cells of alimentary canal. So these three particles are present in your feces, and then it is removed from your body. Okay, you can also see there is another there is a information is given in a box. Okay, so look at your book. I would like to explain you, okay, what is this. A non-function finger-like process called appendix. What is appendix? Okay, it's information about appendix. What is an appendix? So look at your screen. A non-function finger-like process called appendix arises from the blind end of cecum. So where it is present along with cecum. So I explained you again what is cecum. I have told you large intestine consists of three parts. First part is called cecum. It is a pouch that forms the T junctions with small intestine. So appendix is present along with cecum, and its important function is that it is the blind end of cecum, and inflammation of appendix due to infection causing severe pain. So the infected appendix must be removed surgically, otherwise it may burst and inflammatory may spread in abdomen. So you all of know that appendix is a should remove surgically very fastly, because it can produce toxic materials and inflammation inside the body. And I also told you that appendix plays very important role in normal way. Its important work is there to collect good bacteria from your undigested food. So its function is very important, its function is very positive. But when once it is burst, when once it is inflamed, so it should be removed from your body. The what is the important function of appendix? It is a tube which is present along with the cecum, okay, the early part of your large intestine. And its function is there, the bacteria which are left in your large intestine, it reabsorb good bacteria from your undigested food and throw undigested food to the further process. So its function is very positive, but if once it is inflamed, then it should be removed from your body. Okay, and and the fourth part of your feces is that bile pigment and water as a part of the feces. Now the last part is rectum. The last part of the large intestine is rectum, where feces are temporarily stored. Rectum opens out through a pore called anus. So this is another function of large intestine. Yes, large intestine. That large intestine, I have told you about the cecum, I have told you about the colon, and the last part of the large intestine is rectum, and it is where feces is stored for temporary time. For temporary time, okay, for temporary time it is stored over there, and its function is that to it opens out through a pore called anus, and defecation is happened over. When rectum is filled with feces, it gives rise to a reflex, and anus is open for defecation. This reflex is consciously inhibited in adults, but in infants it is controlled involuntarily. Yes, this is, we know, okay, this action in adults is voluntary. It means that this is in our under control. But when we talk about infant, this is not the under, this is not controlled by the infants. So during growth the child learns to bring this reflex under voluntary control. So okay, bete, I think you have to understand it. So you can also see this box which is given. Many bacteria live in colon. They produce vitamin K, which is necessary for the coagulation of blood. So this is very important information you have to underline in your book. Many bacteria live in colon. Where is colon present? This is the part of your large intestine. So what is the important function of these bacteria? They produce vitamin K, and we also discussed in previous lesson that vitamin A, D, E, and K. So they are important vitamins which are necessary for our body. So these bacteria produce vitamin K, which necessary for the coagulation of blood. Coagulation means which stop blood clotting in your blood. We all of know we need thin blood which should be moved in our arteries and veins smoothly. If there is something wrong in your blood, then clotting has been started. Clotting means when your blood began to freeze in your arteries, and if it will be freeze, so oxygen will not reach each and every organ, and that's why a person can be dead. So its important function is there to produce vitamin K. So vitamin K, why it is important for our body? Because it stop coagulation of blood. I hope you understand it. Its in function is very very important. Okay, now we will discuss about the liver. Okay, this is the last part of your alimentary canal. Actually, liver is also the part of your digestive system. Role of liver. What is a liver? So before starting, I would like to share the introduction of liver. A dark reddish organ. The liver is the largest gland of the body. You have to underline, it is the largest gland of the body. Largest gland means it is important for your MCQs. It is the largest gland of your body. Underline in your book. Now I will tell you about the weight and size of liver. So in an adult human, it weighs about 1.5 kg. Okay, and its size is like a football. So it weighs about 1.5 kg. You have to underline. You can also see on the screen. For example, its size like a football. Location where it is located: liver lies beneath the diaphragm on the right side of the abdomen. It is present at the right side of your abdomen. Okay, and the next one is that abdomen, and the third part is that structure. Okay, how it is, what is the structure of liver? It consists of a large right lobe and a smaller left lobe. You can also see in the screen. You can also see the screen of a liver. Okay, this is a liver, and this is called the right lobe, and this is called the left lobe. So right lobe is bigger and the lobe is smaller. Okay, and it is present at the right side of your abdomen, and under the liver there is a stomach. This is a spleen, and you can also see this is a pancreas where your enzymes are produced. These are kidney which filter blood and water from your body. Okay, and you can also see this is a gallbladder along with your liver. Okay, and there is a common bile duct. I have told you, this is a common bile duct which we have discussed, that this comes from your liver and goes to your small intestine, and its important function here to help in digestion. And there is a duodenum, and we also have discussed this is the early part of your small intestine, duodenum. Okay, so like that, what is happening over here? You can also see its size is like a football, and its weight is about 1.5 kg. Then function of digestion, how digestion is happen inside the liver. So first I will discuss with you, before that I would like to explain you gallbladder. A pear shaped digestion. A pear shaped greenish yellow sac, the gallbladder lies along the right lobe of liver on the ventral side. Now we will discuss the functions of digestion, how digestion is happen inside the liver. So there something should be new for you. A liver secretes bile which is stored in the gallbladder. This is true. I have told you that liver always produce a special secretion which is called bile, and it is all time stored in the gallbladder. When your food enters into the small intestine for digestion, so in the early part of small intestine in the duodenum, this secretion comes from the gallbladder and helps in digestion. It helps to digest proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, and fats, etc. Okay, so because of that, the first function of digestion is that emulsification. Bile is released in duodenum through bile duct. Bile has bile salts which keep lipids droplets separate from one another. A process is called emulsification. So you have to underline the definition of emulsification. You can also see on the screen when gallbladder. You can see the first line of the page. When gallbladder enters, bile is released into duodenum through common bile. Okay, bile duct. Bile has no enzyme, but contains bile salts for the emulsification of lipids. So this is the definition of emulsification. What is the process that I have told you? In simple words, bile is produced in the liver. It is stored in the gallbladder, and when it comes in the small intestine for digestion, so it contains, so bile fluid contains salts and droplets of lipids. So this process is called emulsification of lipids. After that, we will discuss other functions which is happening in the liver. They are, beside digestion, liver carries out a number of other functions, some of which are summarized here. You can also see on the screen. First is called deamination. What is that? Remove amino groups from amino acids. Deamination, it is a process in which removes amino groups from amino acids. Second is convert ammonia to less toxic from, that is urea. That it converts ammonia. Ammonia is very toxic, so it converts them into less toxic into in the form of urea. And definitely urea is filtered by your kidney. When your water goes to your kidney, at that time kidneys remove that urea, filter that urea. Third part is destroys the old red blood cells. Yes, I have told you when red blood cells are produced, and you also know this thing here, red blood cell produce inside our blood for 3 to 4 months. Okay, so when red blood cells are dead, it was removed by your liver. So that's why liver has a pale red color. And the next function is that manufacture blood clotting proteins called fibrinogen. Yes, because we need a blood, and blood should be thin in our body. So fibrinogen, a special protein is made by our liver to control the blood clotting. And next is that convert glucose into glycogen, and when required breaks glycogen into glucose. Yes, you also discuss, if you keep in your mind, in our pancreas two important hormones are produced. First is called glycogen and second is called insulin. When the ratio of sugar is raised into your blood, at that time glucagon is working, and when the ratio of sugar is decreased in your blood, at that time insulin works. And if insulin does not work properly, a person can be a diabetic. Okay, so keep all these things in your mind. So the function of liver is that it convert glucose. What is glucose? The sugar which is present in your blood. So it convert glucose into glycogen in the form of hormone into the fluid. And when required, and when it is required again by your body, it breaks glycogen and convert into glucose. You have to keep in your mind, our body needs a specific sugar level inside our blood. If the ratio of sugar is raised, this a person can be diabetic. If the sugar of if the ratio of sugar is decreased into your blood, it can cause of many other problems in the body. So it's important to convert glucose into glycogen, and then glycogen again into your glucose. And the next function converts carbohydrates and proteins into lipids and produce cholesterol. We all of know we need a specific cholesterol level inside our body, but sometimes if cholesterol is raised, it can cause of different diseases. Main important disease is a heart attack. Okay, so it also control the level of cholesterol. Second, next is that produces heat to maintain body temperature. in our body, a system is work which is called homeostasis. Its important function is it maintain our body temperature according to our surrounding. So the balancing of temperature inside our body, it depends on the heat. So produces heat, it produce heat to maintain body temperature. And the last function of liver is that stores fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, and minerals such as iron. So this thing we also have discussed in a box, that in our large intestine, the part of cecum, there is a good bacteria store, and these all good bacteria are consist of vitamin K. And why vitamin K is important for our body? Because vitamin K stops the stop the blood coagulation inside our body. This thing we have discussed in previous page in a box. So stores fat soluble vitamins. So what is the function of liver? It stores all fat soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, and minerals, ions. So why that? Because it convert all these things into an iron. And why iron is important for our body? Because in our red blood cells we have a special chemical which is called hemoglobin. So hemoglobin needs iron to for their working, and hemoglobin also produce oxygen. So that's why when blood goes each and every part of our organ, so it sends oxygen to each and every organ, and that's why a person can survive. So the liver plays very important role inside our body. So we have discussed all these functions here. I hope you understand it. Now your lecture has been ended. If you want to ask any question, raise your hand. Usman, do you have any problem? Is it clear?